As soon as we put people in space, we became aliens that day, right?
Right. Yeah.
Primitive.
Yeah. They are primitive, but we're always moving into some more and more complex direction. Technologically, it seems like that's never going to stop.
Right.
And the only thing that makes sense to me is that we're doing something because that's like what we're literally designed to do. We have all these things that sort of motivate people and greed and lust and curiosity.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're always making better things.
Yeah.
Constantly making better things, which would lead ultimately to the creation of a higher life form, some more intelligent, emotionless being. And that's the scary thought, is that all this life out there is life that was created by biological creatures who had these desires and needs that ultimately led to them making a better version of them. And then that is like the butterfly that comes out of the cocoon.
As soon as we put people in space, we became aliens that day, right?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of things are perspective.
That's true. I mean, you could say you're a camper, but you really only go in a tent in your yard. You're still kind of camping.
Well,
but that's what we're doing
saying
as far as space travel.
Our guy has put a date on the Mars colonization, though, right?
Yeah, but he's also put a date on the Roadster. When that Tesla Roadster's coming out, that motherfucker's never going to see the light of day. When is that car coming out?
No, because
something about it the other day.
That car is supposed to be out for years.
Yeah, it's supposed to be out 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
That's part of being a billionaire.
Sure.
It's not worth putting out something that's not right. It doesn't matter how bad it's wanted.
Well, he actually explained that. He said it was manufacturing is insanely difficult. And the way he explained it, you don't consider it because people just manufacture things. You think it's normal. But he was like, the process of manufacturing, especially like an electric car, insanely difficult.
He had a harder time doing that Cybertruck than he did space stuff.
Cybertruck's hard. What's all folded steel? It's this fucking massive 7,000 plus pound folded steel truck that goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and it looks like it's from the future. It looks like if you were going to watch
it's the hottest thing on Mars.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the most futuristic car ever.
Right.
Yeah, but
as kids, that's what we drew.
I don't know when we're going to Mars, and I don't know who the fuck's going to do that. That's a 6-month journey, and you're just hoping.
So what? Several billionaires were talked into getting into a capsule with limited air to go a long way down.
Bro, that's a dark way to die. Just knowing that you chose to
just
do
know,
it.
Even if you're a racist hearing this, all death is dark. So
what I mean is the last moments must be horrific.
No more horrific than anyone else's.
I know, but there's something about the choice of being, thousands of feet under the water.
No, it's being a billionaire.
It's crushing.
Your soul dies long before I could have done anything. This is what I chose.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that depth.
That guy could be fishing in Maui right now. With a nice cold beer, hanging out with his friends, listening to some music. Instead he hears...
Right.
He hears that carbon fiber starting to crack. God damn.
It's already done at that point.
Yep,
None of that's happening.
They knew those people were dead a long time ago, which is interesting because I didn't know how sophisticated the underwater listening devices are. But they have these super sophisticated underwater listening devices everywhere to make sure that Russia's not sneaking up on us. Because Russia will sneak up on a motherfucker. Russia snuck up on people before.
Sir, none of that is for Russia.
You think it's for aliens?
None of that is for Russia.
Do you think it's for aliens? That would be the wildest shit of all time. They had underwater listening devices because they knew that aliens were under there.
Okay. Let's see if this is weed talk or not.
Let's go.
So, which one do we know more about? Do we know more about space or do we know more about the oceans?
We know more about space. Yeah. Quite a bit more.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah. And part of that is because
the ocean's very difficult to penetrate.
At some point, it's government.
They're hiding things from us. I would hide things from people. I would definitely make it illegal for you to have a submarine. You could have a yacht. Don't get crazy. You can't go underwater. I got to know where the fuck you are. If I need to collect taxes.
Well,
if you're floating around, I could pull up.
It was a conspiracy theory at one point that you know the government got bases inside the mountains.
Right. Well, until they had to expand the boundary behind Area 51 and make Area 51 larger, they never even admitted it existed. It wasn't until the Obama administration that they actually came out and said, Area 51's a real thing. We need more land. Do you ever see the video of Bob Lazar, the guy who used to work there? Have you ever seen that guy? That's a wild one.
I was following old Bob Lazar. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think he's telling the truth?
Here's the thing, Joe. Just an opinion, but what I find fascinating is the lack of imagination in any of these stories where imagination could apply. Like
if someone was bullshitting, you'd see evidence of it. Right? Because that's the thing. If people bullshit, they kind of bullshit about everything.
Right.
Because they think they're smart enough to trick you. No one's smart enough to come up with one story only their whole life. Their whole life, they're straight, down the middle, square, tell the truth all the time. But one time, they decide to have a whopper of a lie and just fabricate this thing and structure it.
You're seeing somebody tell you a story that is the only explanation for certain things that are happening.
Yeah. Especially he tells you a story, and then you have independent people who also used to work for the government now